Good morning. In the last session, we discussed about how to work with JSP as our presentation layer. So earlier we used Timely for our presentation layer development, and Spring MVC will support for multiple presentation technologies. One is Timely, another one is JSP. So if you want to work with JSP as a presentation technology, then we need to add Tomcat
Sir,
embed
can you please
Jasper
update the
dependency.
notes
Right?
in
This
the
dependency
cloud?
you
I
can
think
get
I am
from the
unable to see.
mvnrepository.com and add that dependency in the form.xml. Then controller, there are no changes available. Our controller method will return index page, which is a view name. And here, the view pages we are going to create in the web app folder index.jsp. In the folder views I created, you can create any name. You can take another name as a pages also. Anything is fine. You can create any name for that folder. In that folder, we are going to create our JSP files. To access the key in the JSP, $of key we are going to use. So, and we need to configure view resolver. In the WebMVC, view resolver is used to identify where our view files available in the application. What is the location of our presentation files in the application? We can understand by using view resolver concept. Then finally, run the application and test that application. Then we have done the summary also. What we have learned in the WebMVC. What is Spring WebMVC? What is the MVC architecture? How to develop our application by using MVC? And what is form binding concept in the form binding object? What is form binding object? Mapping our form data to the object and object to the form data. That also we have covered here. And we have seen how to develop our application with the multiple layers. Presentation layer, web layer, business layer, data access layer concept will be available. And we are able to develop one application by integrating MVC, JPA, Timely, and we are able to perform CRUD operations also. Then we discussed about how to send emails by using our Spring Boot application and how to implement exception handling in our WebMVC application. And what is embedded container in the Spring Boot. So when we are developing application by using Spring Boot, guys, you no need to download and set up a server in order to run the application. You need to download and set up the server to run the application. Boot will provide one default server. It is called embedded container. And we also discussed about embedded database concept in the Spring Boot. When we are developing one application for practice, real databases are not required. For POC development, real databases are not required. Then we can use a concept called embedded database concept. We can use H2 as a embedded database in the Spring Boot. And we also implemented form validations by using Spring Boot. Form validations we can do in two ways. One is client-side form validation. Another one is server-side form validation. And the next one, Spring WebMVC plus JSP application development we have seen. And we have seen one more concept, that is HTTP session in the WebMVC. HTTP session in WebMVC. So what is that HTTP session? Why we need to go for HTTP session? Which user logged in into our application? To understand the user identity in the project, we are going to use the HTTP session concept. There is a lag in the voice. Is it clear now? Is my voice clear now? Online students?
No, sir, it's very low, sir.
Can you respond in the chat box? Is it clear?
Little bit clear, sir. Low, sir, low.
What about now? Now also not clear.
Yes, sir. Same, sir.
Yes,
No.
yes. Now continue, sir.
It's clear now.
Yes, yes.
Am I audible, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
It is
sir.
clear
It is
now.
low. What about now? Am I audible?
Yeah, it's okay, sir.
Clear? Yes. Good. So we discussed about what is HTTP session also in the application. So HTTP session, basically when user logged in into the application, then we are going to create a session like this. So when user log in, user can go to multiple pages after login. So if you want to fetch some data based on the logged in user, then we need to create a session for the user. Once the user login, if a login got successful, we need to create a session. For that, we are using request dot get session of true. Request dot get session of true. What is the meaning of request dot get session of true? A new session object will be created. For the user, new session object will be created. That session I want to use in multiple methods in the project. Then we need to store that session data. We need to store the user data in the session. To store the user data in the session, what is the method? Session dot set attribute. Session dot set attribute key comma value. Session dot set attribute key comma value. Set attribute user ID comma value. Wherever you need user ID in the application, user will go to payments page, user will go to others page, user will go to balance page. Wherever you want to display user information, we need the user ID. Who is accessing this application? So for example, if you go to any banking project, guys, so let's take a scenario. There is a banking application. Login page is available. User will log in here. User login page is available. They will log in. After login, they will go for depositing the money. Money transfer page will be available. Check balance will be available. Download statement will be available. So 3 pages are available. So one is check balance. Check balance is available. And here transaction history. Check the transaction history. And here transfer amount. Okay. So they want to transfer the amount here. 3 pages. So in all the 3 pages, we need the person who logged in. When I go to check balance, it should display my account balance for me. When you log in, your account balance should display. When I go for a transaction history, my account transactions only should display. When you log in, your account transactions will display. Same here, transfer amount. When I do the bank amount transfer, amount should be deducted from my account. If you transfer, amount should be deducted from your account. So that means this application will remember who logged in. Who logged in into the project, application has to remember. So what we need to do is, when user log in into the project successfully, we will store that user data into one session object. For the entire application, when user log in, one HTTP session object will be created. So user identity, who logged in into our application, that user data we will store in the session. Then when you go for check balance page, you get the data from the session. Who logged in? Go to transaction history, get the data from the session. When you go for amount transfer, get the data from the session. So we need that user data in the multiple pages of our application. So that's why when user login successfully, we are going to create one new session object. Request dot get a session of true. What is the meaning of request dot get session of true? If login is successful, then create new session for user. Then create new session for user. Then store user ID in session. So once you store any data in the session, in the entire application, in any class, in any method, you can access the data from the session. Okay? So all the applications, if you go to Gmail, so Gmail everyone is using. It is a web application. When I log in into Gmail, what will happen? My mails only will be displayed. If you log in, your mails will be displayed. That means Gmail is also user-based application. User-based application. If I log in into Facebook, my friends' post only will be displayed for me. If you log in, your friends' post will be displayed for you. That means all these applications will remember which user logged in into the application. So that's where they are going to create a session object. They're going to create a session object. So store that user ID in the session. Session dot set attribute key comma value. Then when you go for order page, what I need to do to fetch the order? I will log in, you will log in into Amazon. I want to see my orders. You want to see your orders. So but in the Amazon, so many orders available. How the Amazon will understand which order they has to display in the order page? First they will check which user logged in by using session.get attribute. So here, get the HTTP session.get session of false. What is the meaning of get session of false? A get existing session object. Get the existing session object. Then get the user ID from the session. Get the user ID from the session. Based on that user ID, we need to get the orders and display the orders here. So here, when the login is successful, session is created. And the user ID stored in the session. When you go for orders page, get the existing session. From the session, get the user ID. Based on the user ID, you get the orders. Are you able to follow me? Then, when you go for logout, what we are doing in the logout functionality? What we are doing in the logout functionality? Remove
session.
session object. Because user logged out, then no need of the session for the user. When they log in, session will be created. If login is successful, user ID will be stored in the session. When you go for multiple pages, get the user ID from the session. Based on the user ID, you display the data. For me, my orders. For you, your orders. For the her orders will be displayed. We all are using Swiggy, Zomato. Zomato app. Only my bookings will be displayed. If you open your booking for all of us, Zomato is only one application. But based on the user, data is changed. How we are changing the data based on the user? Based on the session number. So when you log in into the Zomato or any application, a session will be created. In that session, the data will be stored. When you go for other pages, they will get the data from the session and they will fetch the data from the database based on your email ID or based on your mobile ID. Now, for example, if I go to our application, ashokit.in application is available. Okay, this application is role-based application, guys. That means students will log in into ashokit website, counselors will log in into ashokit website, and trainers will log in into ashokit website. Admins will log in into ashokit website. Super admin also will log in into ashokit website. So that means in our website there are multiple user logins are implemented. So first one, the first login, that is super admin. Super admin can see everything available in the ashokit website. So you student enrollment, student payments, faculty details, batches, schedules, courses, everything can be accessed by super admin. Then second role is available, admin role is available. Admin means our employee who will manage my website data, creating the new batches, updating the images in the website. So that information can be managed by admin. Then third one, there is a counselor available. Counselors available. So front office team is available. When a student comes for the inquiry, they will take the student data they will store in the website. For them, limited functionality will be available. Add the inquiry, see the inquiries which are added, check the complaints which are available. Then fourth login is available, which is a trainer, faculty. So the faculty is available. When the faculty login, they can upload the notes in the website. They can upload the notes, they can edit the notes. They can see what are the batches they are having, and they will upload the note into the particular batch based on the batch. So one faculty can teach multiple batches also. Based on the batch, he will upload the notes. The fifth login is available, which is the student login. And the student login, what will happen? What are the courses you join? Only your courses will be displayed for. So when you log in, all the courses are only your courses. Only your courses. If you join for one course, only that course will come. If you join for two courses, only two courses will come. So that means my application will remember who logged in into the project. Which user logged into the application will be remembered by this. Now can you see here, when I go to login, I going to log in with my mail ID. Okay. So this is my mail ID, which is having a trainer role. When I log in here, what is coming for me? Teaching courses are coming. These are my batches available. When I select the drop down as in progress, my running batches will be displayed for me. When I select as completed, the batches which I completed previously, completed batches will be displayed for me. And I have upload notes option. Which batch I want to upload. In progress, batch 45 SBMS. What is the topic for this batch? What is the comment and file that I am going to upload? So whatever the notes I uploaded, I can see that notes here. 45 SBMS. The notes I uploaded, I can see. I can download my notes. I can edit and update that notes file, and I can come back and I can delete that notes also. Whatever I have uploaded. This is for trying. Suppose if I log out and if I log in as my admin, Ashok ID admin is available. When I log in into admin, the pages are different. The menu is different. For faculty, some menu will be available. For admin, one menu, different menu will be available. What admin can do? Admin can add the courses. Admin can add the interview questions. Admin can do the job posting. They can do the batch schedule, and they can update the payment settings and all. This is for admin. Okay, when I go and log in as a super admin, when I log in as a super admin, so many functionalities will be available. Admin having limited functionality. Super admin having so many functionalities. Okay, here I can go and notification. I can send the bulk SMS also, bulk notification in the WhatsApp. For all the faculties, I want to send one message. I will select as a trainer. I will submit button. Then for all the faculties in Ashok IT, one WhatsApp message will be. For example, on the festival, they are my employees. I want to send a greeting for them. So happy New Year, happy Dasra, something like that. There are 30, 40 faculties available. I can't send a message to one by one person. That's what I will do. I will go to the website, I will select the message I want to send from the WhatsApp, and I will select the role. For students also, I can send a message. For faculties also, I can send a message. For counselors, I will add one more option. For all my counselors also, I want to send a message. So like this, super admin login is available. Let's go to counselor login. Okay, let me select any student login. So this is my student mail ID. If I log in, what is displaying now? Menu got changed. Menu got changed. So here what is displaying? My courses. Which course I joined? Okay. Enroll for the course. Which are the batches available for the enrollment? You can select it. Events. What are the events I joined? Free workshops. Event in the sense free workshop. Right? If you log in, you will see Spring Boot course here. My course for you Spring Boot course will come. Because if you are mail ID, Spring Boot course enrollment is coming. So this is user specific application. So my application is understanding the user login and what is the role of that user. For faculty, some other menu will come. For counselor, different menu. For admin, different menu. For super admin, different menu will be available. So without storing that user data in the session, can I implement that menu? So my application should know which person is logged in and what is the role of that person. But it is Based on I log in as a faculty, only my courses will come. For example, if I log in with my mail ID, it is displaying dashboard, teaching courses, only my courses will come. JRTP, AWS, SBMS, DevOps. I'm teaching only 3 courses in our institute. JRTP, Spring Boot, AWS, and DevOps, 4 courses. Suppose if I log in, this is user-based application. Suppose if I log in with Shekhar sir mail ID, then what courses are coming for Shekhar sir? Full stack courses are coming for it. It is a role-based application, plus it is user-based application also. If Shekhar sir log in, his courses only come. If I log in, my courses are come. And Shekhar sir and me are trainers. My role is a trainer. So my menu is different. For example, if our counselor logged in, suppose Shilpa logged in with her mail ID, then Shilpa logged in. Then what is the menu coming for her? Different. Adding the inquiry management is available, new enrollment, student complaints, daily leads available. She can check different applications. Whatever dashboard is coming for her, that is different. My dashboard is different. Trainer dashboard, user dashboard, student dashboard, admin, super admin, multiple roles are available in our application. So this is role-based user application. Role-based user application. For trainer, some functionality. For counselor, some functionality. And a trainer, multiple trainers available. When I log in, only my batches will come. When other trainer log in, only his batches will come in the dash. So without session, can we implement it? Can you implement it without session? So how we will create that session in the web application? How we will create that session in the web application? Request first. When we will create a session in the web application? When user log in first time. When user log in into the application, then immediately session will be created. To create that session object, request.get session of true. Request.get session of true. What is the difference between request.get session of true, request.get session of false? Request.get session of true, request.get session of false. What is the meaning of get session of true, get session of false? Get session of true means new session will be created. Get session of false means existing session will be available for. How to store the data in the session? How to get the data from the session? How to store the data in the session? How to get the data from the session? Set attribute, get attribute. Request.set attribute, key comma value. Request.get attribute, key. Then we
Sir,
give the value.
voice is not.
This user login stores the user ID in the session. If you open other pages in the application, get the
Hello,
data.
sir. You're not
based on
properly
the
audible.
user ID. First get the existing session.
Sir,
Get the
you were
user ID.
not, your voice is
Then
not
the
clear.
user ID you get. So when you are developing a web application, then definitely session management is required. And when to remove the session from the application? When user log out, get the existing session and use session.invalidate. What is the meaning of session.invalidate? Then we are going to implement the logout function. We will implement logout function. Are you clear with this point? Yes. Any questions on session concept? Any question on the session? What is session? Why we need session? Yes, it is a primary key in the table. In the user table, user ID will be primary. So either you can take user ID or email also you can take. Email also will be unique. In our application, phone number also, yes, you can take phone number also because everybody will have a unique phone number, right? Ashok ID website, we are fetching the courses for you based on the email ID. Because every student will have a unique email ID. Based on the email ID, I will display the courses for you. So why we can't? Why I am using email ID is why I am not using student ID? Student table is available. Student ID is available. Student email ID is also available. I can get the courses based on the student ID, based on the student email also. But I implemented with the student email. What is the reason? The reason is when you go to old website of Ashok IT, in the old website of Ashok IT, you can log in into our website without creating the account also, because there is a sign in with Google functionality available. So that means in our new website, if you want to log in, you have to create the account first. When you create the account, you will have a ID. Unique ID will be available as a primary key. Student ID will be available. In future, want to implement a functionality called sign in with Google. What is the meaning of sign in with Google? You don't need to create the account. Directly you can go here, sign in with Google option. When you use sign in with Google, your data will not be there in my website. Now you guys get my point. Your data is not there in my website, but still you will log in with our Gmail account. If you log in with the Gmail, I have only your mail ID. I don't have your ID. Student ID will not be available. In my student table, your record will not be available. But in the payment table, your mail ID will be available. So that is the reason I'm using mail ID to get the courses, not the student ID. In the session, I will store the mail ID, not the student ID. Are you getting my point? Suppose if I don't implement sign in with Google, then definitely if you want to use my project, you have to create the account. If you create the account, ID will be generated. But in future, I will add that function. That's the reason I'm not using student ID. I'm using student email ID. When you sign in with Google, email ID will be having. You got my point? So which data we need to store in the application, and it depends on our requirement. If you go for Amazon, there also without creating the account, you can log in. Sign in with Google will be available. And if you go to another website, for example, Hacker Rank is available. When you go to Hacker Rank, it is a coding platform, coding practice. Right here, login is available. When you go to login, account I need to create. Okay, for developers login, now I need to create my account. Okay, or else what they are saying, or what they are saying now. What you don't need to create the account, it's not mandatory. You can log in with Google, Facebook, GitHub, LinkedIn. So that means you don't want to create the account in the Hacker Rank. I want to log in with my social media accounts. Then ID will not be available. Then how they will fetch my data? How they will recognize me? Based on my email. So in this scenario, in the session, we need to store the email, not the user ID or student. So if I don't have sign in with Google, then how user can log in? Definitely they need to create the account. When you create the account, record will be inserted. Primary key will be available. Are you clear with my point? And whatever the session that I have explained, this is for the college level people. Whatever the data that we are storing in the session, request.get session.
Sir, your voice is not clear, sir.
Attribute. So this is also outdated concept in the industry. In the
Yes,
real
sir.
time, we are not going to develop our applications like that. Actually, now if you see in Ashok IT website also, Ashok IT website will recognize your email ID, but that is not with the session, because Ashok IT website is not a monolithic application. What is the meaning of a monolithic? Monolithic means whatever we are developing in the WebMVC classes, those are monolithic. Nothing but everything is available in one project. Everything is available in the one project. UI is available in or JSP. Control is available. Data access available. This is a monolithic application. When you develop our project as a monolithic application, then only we need the session. If you are developing your application as a monolithic, but everything we are developing as a single application. If you are developing everything as a single application, then you need to go for the session concept. But in the real time, our projects are not a monolith. Our projects are microservices. Now, my back-end project is a Spring Boot. My front-end project is an Angular. That is a full stack application. Whatever the session concept we discussed, that is also outdated, old approach. 6 years back, 7 years back, when this microservices concept was not there, people used to develop the project with the monolithic architecture. Monolithic architecture means everything is available in one project only. Session concept will be used. But today, in the market, projects are microservices projects. Sir, these people are saying voice is problem. Guys, is still voice is problem.
Yes, sir.
Very slow, sir.
Changed all my settings also. Is it clear now?
Voice is clear, sir.
Now?
Volume is
Very
less.
low,
That's
sir.
it.
Yeah, very low voice.
Some people are saying it is clear, some people are saying problem. What I need to do? Yeah. Am I audible now?
You are audible, sir, but voice is very
Guys,
low.
am I audible? Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what I am trying to say is, whenever you develop your application as a monolithic architecture, what is the meaning of monolithic architecture? Everything is available in one project. If you develop your project as a monolithic application, then you need to use session concept. You need to use session if it is a monolithic application. But today in the market, people are developing back-end application separately and they are developing front-end application separately. Back-end application will be separate, front-end application will be separate. It's called full stack. Now, front-end application is going to communicate with the back-end will communicate with the front. So this is the development model. When you are developing back-end with Java, front-end with Angular or React. Angular or React, we are using for the front-end. If you are developing your application like this, then there is no session. There is no session. When the session is required, you are developing everything as one project. It is a monolithic project. Then only session. If you are developing a full stack, microservices, backend with Java, front-end with the Angular, then there is no session. Session is not required. Sir, then when the session is not available in the full stack application, how data will be managed? How my backend will understand which is student log? I mean, Ashok writing, backend is Spring Boot, front-end is Angular. That means session is there, session is not there. Session is not. Without session, how I have it here? You log in, your courses are coming. If I log in, my courses are coming. So application is able to recognize who logged in. But there is no session. How we are managing? Ashok application is not monolithic. It is microservices. Backend Spring Boot, front-end Angular. It is a full stack project. So there is no session. But still, if you log in, your courses are coming. If I log in, my courses are coming. So for developing a full stack application, the session will be available at the front-end application. So if you are developing a monolithic application, the session will be available at the backend. When you are developing a full stack application, session will be available at the front-end. The Angular, the session concept is called as user storage. Session storage and user storage will be available. What is that, guys? User storage will be available. So when you log in, your data will be stored in the front-end application session, not in the back-end application. So when you log in, every time front-end application will send that email ID to the back. Which student logged in? Your email ID will be stored, but not in the Java session. Your email ID will be stored in the front-end session. Are you guys getting my point?
Voice is very low, sir.
If it is, if you might
Sir,
also
your
make the
voice is
Java.
not audible, sir.
Java session you can.
Sir.
But today, anybody using UI in the Java? Anybody using JS?
Sir, can you hear us?
These are migrated to Angular, React, Vue.js, Next.js, like that. Front-end technologies became different, back-end became different. When the back-end front-end is different, the session will not be available in the Java. The session will be available in the front-end. So every time when you log in, front-end application will send your email ID to my
I
back-end
can't hear you, sir.
application. Based on the email ID, my back-end application will get the person. Are you guys clear with my point? Yes. So session will be available.
So to make a request,
Nothing,
you
voice is
request
free.
to a sir that drop today's class and repeat
Sir,
tomorrow.
is it clear now?
So sometimes it is clear,
Not
sometimes
audible.
it is not.
Voice
Sir,
fluctuation.
your voice is not clear.
What is the problem?
Sir, can you put a mic near?
Hello. Hi guys, can you hear me now?
Sir, now you're audible, but whenever you start teaching, whenever you go away from mic, it is not audible for online people.
Yeah, now let's try now. Let us see. So guys, we are talking about the session concept in the Java as well as in the front. When to create the session in the Java, when to create the session in the front. Come on. If our application is a monolithic application, session will be available in the Java side. If your application is a full stack, front end, back end separate, then session will be available at the front end. Now, Java side session you have seen. Okay, Java side session you have seen. Now let me show you Angular side session, guys. Okay, so my application Angular code is available with me. Somewhere I kept it. Yeah. So this is my website front end, which is developed by using Angular. So open the Angular application. Then here login functionality is available. Login component.ts, that is a TypeScript file. Login component.css, login component.html. Go to login component.ts file. This is Angular code. Open this file. Now, this is my login code. Yes. What is this one? Login. So when user login successfully, so this is my login functionality. This is Angular code, guys. When you login successfully, authentication service, backend service login with email password. If your login is successful, when you get the front end success response. When I get the success response, what I am doing now? Storage.set token, storage.set role, set the student, set the trainer, set the council. Okay, that means when your login got successful, in my User storage, I am setting your token, I'm setting your role, and I'm setting your data also. So whenever you log in, your data will be stored in the user storage in the Angular. When you set a request from the Angular, your email ID will go to my backend application. In my backend, there is no session. My backend is not a normal application. It is a microservice. For the microservices in the backend, session concept will not be available. So, but if it is a monolithic, session will be available in the backend. If it is microservices, session will be available at the backend. Are you clear? You need to understand that concept. So, but nowadays, anybody developing monolithic applications? People are not using Java for the UI development. Java purely used for backend development only. For the UI, separated technologies we are using. And then people, is voice better now?
Yes, sir, better.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good. So with this we understood what is HTTP session concept and why we need to use the session and when to use the session in the Java, how to use the session in the Java, and when to go for session in the front end. Are you clear? Good. If anybody asks you what is the session, then what is your answer? What is the session in the web application? What is the main purpose of the session? What is the main purpose of the session in our project? Use session is basically to store user data from login to till login. So I told you one scenario. When you go for any application, in the balance page, your data should come. Transaction history, your data should come. Transfer amount, your data should come. Okay, how? Your data only will come when you log in. When you log in, your ID or your email will be stored in the session. Based on that, they will fetch the data. Are you clear? So get session, set session. Get session object to true or false. Session dot set attribute. Session dot get attribute concept is available. Are you clear with my point?
So, sir, like every user, it going to create the new session, right?
Correct.
For every
user, new session in every browser. Session is at the browser level. In every browser, if you log in the Google Chrome, one session will create. If you log in the Firefox, another session will create. Session is at the browser level. If you close the browser also, then session will be removed. Local storage is sufficient, sir. In the Angular, you can use local storage.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Two sessions will be created. If same user logged in two different browsers, two sessions will be created. Whenever session is created, session ID will be generated. Every user will have a unique session. Can I give one assignment on this session concept? Java session concept. It's a little challenging task for you. I want you people to implement that task. Okay. So we already implemented user login and user registration functionality. It is just enhancement for the same project. What is the meaning of enhancement? Extension. Adding new features to the existing functionality is called as enhance. Adding existing functionality, adding new functionality to the existing functionality is called as enhance. Are you guys clear with my point? Yes. So what I want you people to implement is develop requirement. Today, you take the time and you try to implement this requirement, guys. It is an assignment kind of thing for you. Develop Spring WebMVC application with the below functionalities. Develop Spring WebMVC application with below functionality. Okay. First one is registration. First one is registration. Then second one is login. Login functionality will be available. Then third functionality, add contact. And fourth functionality, view contacts. It's like a phone book application, guys. It is like a phone book application. So you need to develop a project which will contain registration and which will contain login also. Already we done user registration and user login. So when user login successfully, it will go to view contacts page. View contacts nothing but simple. In my mobile, my friend contacts are available. In your mobile, your friend contacts are available. So now we need to develop one phone book application, which is used to store our contacts, nothing but our father mobile number, our mother mobile number, name, contact number. Name and contact number we need to store. And in that application, I will log in, I will store my family contact details. And you will log in, you can store your family contact details. Are you getting my point? So it is session based. When I log in, my family contact details should be. When you log in, your family contact details should be. Are you guys able to understand my requirement? So can you read the requirement again? Develop Spring Web MVC application with the below functionalities. Develop a Spring Web, develop phone book application with the below functionalities. What are the below functionalities? Registration, login. Once you log in, it will display one page to add the contacts, and there will be an option called view contacts. Okay. When I view contacts, which contacts should display? The contacts which are added by the logged in user. When I log in, my father number, my mother, and I will log. You log in, you add your father name, father number, your mother name, your mother. For you, your numbers only should display. What are the numbers you add? Only those should display. When I log in, the numbers which I have added, only those numbers should be displayed for. You got the requirement? Anybody not able to understand the requirement? What we need to develop today? User registration. You create your account first. Your name, email ID, phone number. You can register. Then you password also. Yes, you create account. Create account means your name, email ID, password, phone number. You create account. Then log in with your email ID, password. There will be a page called add contact. Name, contact number. Your father name, contact number. Then add one more contact. Your mother name, contact. Then when you go for view contacts, whatever the contacts you added, only those numbers should be displayed for. When I log in, only my contacts which I added will be displayed. Samjha? Got the requirement? Can you do it?
Yes, sir.
Easy or difficult? Simple. In Ashok IT website, if you log in, your courses will display. If I log in, my courses will display. Same concept. When you log in, your contacts should display. When I log in, my contacts will display. That's you can add a contact and you can see your contacts. So one application which is used to store how you are saving a contact in your mobile, same contact you can store in the website. Able to follow me? Just look at the requirement. I will give the design of the screen also. Login registration, I think already we have taken, right? So no need to give the, I will give the page of this. Name, email ID, password, phone. So this is our registration page. This is the example on the session concept only. Theoretically, we understood session. Practically, how to implement.
Sir, we have to use ThemeLeaf only, right?
Yes, time leaf as a presentation.
Okay.
If you are using JSP also, no. If you know that, you can use anything. Better to go with time leaf. This is one page which is used for user registration, guys. Then next one, login page will be available where it will ask your email ID and password. You already developed login registration, right? In the same project, you add the new function. Your email ID and your password and you log. This is registration. And this is log. So once you log in, a page will come. In that page, contacts display. Whatever the contacts you added, those contacts will be displayed here. In a table, view contacts. When you log in successfully, contacts will be displayed directly, which you have added. Yes, serial number, contact name, and phone number. A table will be available. For example, 1, your father number, something. And 2, your mother name, and for mother contact, like this, your sister, friends, anybody. You can add multiple contacts here, and those contacts should display in a table form. Table format will be available. And one more functionality, add contact will be available. There will be one more page called add contact. Add contact. So in this add contact, name and phone number. What is the contact you are adding and what is their contact number? And here, some save button will be available. So total how many pages are there? 4 pages are available. One is registration, another one is login, and another one is view contacts and add contacts. So total 4 pages we need to develop in our application. So first user will come and do the registration. When user registered, then message will come, then they will go for the login. Once you log in, immediately it will display view contacts page. What will be displayed in the view contacts page? Contacts which you have added. Contacts which you added will be displayed here. And when you go for add contact, this page will come. Here you can save the contact. Okay, multiple people can use the same application. I can use, you can use, everybody can use. When I log in, my contacts only should come. When you log in, your contacts only should come. So you did something like a phone book application. So today, I want you got the concept, what is formatting object, how to capture form data, how to save in the table, how to retrieve the data, how to display. Now we know what is the session, how to use the session also. By using that session concept, I want you to implement this function. Today, this is the target. But today, you need to complete this function. This is a task. Okay, you bootstrap, make your projects, UI pages more beautiful with the bootstrap. Right? If you develop this project, then I will show you how to deploy this project in the AWS also. That means currently, whatever the project you are developing, that project will run only in your system, localhost :8080. Can you access that project in your mobile? It is specific to only one computer. If you complete this project today, tomorrow I will show you how to deploy that project in the AWS. Now everybody can access your project. So with the IP address that everyone now ashokit.in. You are able to access my project in mobile and your laptop also. But whatever the project you are developing, I can't access. I will show you how to make our application public. Multiple people can access from multiple devices. Then you can send to your friend, "Arey, this is the project I developed in my course. Can you access from your mobile?" So if you give the URL, they can access your project. So I will show you how to deploy the project in the AWS cloud. You got my point? So today, this is the target. I want everyone to complete this project by today. Anybody having any question on the requirement? Any question on the requirement? And whenever you have some time, you check Ashok IT project also. And seriously, if you can develop a project like this, you are equal to 4 to 5 years of experience. 4 to 5 years experienced developer. That much experience you will get if you can build a website like this. So you see what is there in the Ashok IT website. Login is available. Registration is available. You are getting an email. You are getting an email. You are getting an OTP. And when you log in, side menu, different coloring coming. Notes uploading is available. Notes downloading is available. So you need to understand the project that you are using every day. If you can develop this kind of a project on your own, then you are real experienced developer. So whenever you are using Ashok website, you don't use only to download the notes. You observe what I have implemented, what functionality is there in the project, how to develop that functionality, how Ashok sir thought to implement this functionality, what is my design, what is my database, what are the tables, what are the classes I have taken. Now if you go to events functionality, free workshops are coming. When you select Java, Java workshops are coming. Details are coming. When I click on register now, workshop details are coming. So workshop description, workshop registration page. When I submit, form validations are coming. Okay. When I go to courses offering, I'm giving the multiple courses here. If you select Java, Java courses will come. If I select DevOps, DevOps courses will come. If I open the button, the DevOps course information is coming. I have given this accordance here. Accordance are available here. When I click on download course content, the file is downloading for you. How I uploaded that file, how you are downloading that file, file uploading, file downloading, develop in one application. So if you observe all the functionality in our website now, you can learn a lot as a developer. So many things are. It is not easy to develop that kind of application. And that too, front end separate, back end separate. Angular and Spring. So whenever you are using our website, so many people every day, 1,000 to 2,000 people will use the website because their Zoom link is there in the website, their notes is there in the website. Very less number of people will observe what functionality is available, how to implement those functions. If you can develop a website like this using Spring Boot, you are equal to 4 to 5 years of experience. A fresher cannot do this 100%. So you need to do a lot of practice. So when you are downloading the notes, when you are accessing the Zoom link, don't use the website like an end user. Don't use the website like an end user. What is the meaning of end user? Clients, end user, people who don't know programming, they are end user. But you are a programmer. So what you need to think when you come to my website? How Ashok developed this website? What is the code he has implemented? What is the code he has implemented? How these many functionalities available? How to develop these functionalities? You take a challenge and you start working on it. Simple. If you go to login, registration page available. Okay, in the login page, one image is coming. I can change this image. In the background, I can delete this image. Whenever new batch is coming, to attract more people, to give more information, everybody will come to my login page. Then what I'm showing them? It's like a promotion. It's like a promotion. So Java batch is starting. So definitely they will come to login page. Okay, they will see, okay, there is a Java batch. Suppose there is a free workshop. This Sunday, if I have a free workshop, then I will update the image in the backend, in the database. Okay, there is a screen to change the image. When I change the image, when you log in, the new image will come for you. How we implemented that function. And when you go and create a new account, am I asking user password? Am I asking the password? Developing a project, registration page like this. Enter email ID, password, outdated approach. Nowadays, people will not ask the passwords. So in my website, am I asking to enter your password? So you can create account without password. Then how you will log in? For registration, there is no password. But when you go for login, password required. How you will get that? How you are getting the password?
Through email.
Through email. Through email. So you need to think about that. Array, in our Ashokati website, registration functionality is there, but password is not asked. But to log in, password is required. How I will get that password? You create the account. Immediately you will get an email. This is your password. How that password is coming to your email? Already I explained to you how to send email thing. So you need to think, you need to implement. Whenever you create account, password should come to your mail. With that password, you need to log in. Once you log in, then you can change your password. Are you getting my point? So these are real-time requirements. That I will implement. I have not added. You sign in with Google means you already have a Google account. With that you can log. You don't need to create account here. You already have a Gmail account. If you have Gmail account, with the Gmail log credentials, you can log in. That is sign in with Google. That is a plugin. Google plugin we will use in our website. That plugin we need to add. When I add the plugin, login you don't need to do in our product. Login you will do in the Google. If you log in successfully in the Gmail, Gmail will send you a token for me. If the token is received, then you will go to my website. That is a separate implementation. Okay. So can you implement the requirement I have given? So as I am telling you guys, there are so many things that you can learn from our website. So many real-time requirements you can learn from our website. Create account. Password will go to user email ID. That is one task. In the company, tomorrow you will get such kind of requirements. So taking a password from the user for registration, outdated approach. So I'm not asking your password. Password will come to your mail. Password will come to your email, then you can change your password. And one more functionality is available. You went to your hometown 2 months, you are not in Hyderabad. 2 months you are busy with your family work and all. You forgot the password. Again, after 2 months, you came back to Amirpet. You want to access the class notes. You forgot your password. Then what you need to do? Simply you go here and click on forgot password. What it will do when you click on forgot password? Now you give your, see, for example, I forgot my password. I forgot my password. Go to my Gmail account. With which account I created account here, go to my Gmail account. We go to forgot password. This is a real-time requirement. You need to implement all these things as part of your course. So that is the difference, guys. Learning the concept is different. Implementing the project is different. Officially, Spring Web MVC topics are complete. What is Web MVC? What is form binding? How to handle exception? How to send the email? What is controller? What is time leaf? What is JSP? Embedded container, embedded database, session, topics are completed. But are you confident to develop these requirements? Registration without taking the password, forgot password functionality, login registration, adding the contact, display the contacts based on the login user. Meaning the course is different, implementing the project is different. Many people will do only course. Many people will do only course. Critical law. When you will get the practical knowledge? If you develop this kind of requirements, then only you will get the practical knowledge. So all these things I can't tell you, because if I want to tell you all the functionalities, it will take 1 year to complete the course. But what is our course duration? 3 months. So in 3 months, what we can do? We can teach the concepts. We can't implement the requirements. So small requirements we can teach you. But completely a project like this, it's not possible in the course. Because our course duration 3 or maximum 4 months. I can tell you. Implementing the concepts in a project like this, it will take another 6 months of time to get this kind of project. So that is what I told you one day. The problem with the students. What my problem I told you. People are depending on the trainers completely. That is the first mistake. Second problem. Students are completing the courses theoretically. They are not getting the practical knowledge. What is the meaning of practical knowledge? Unable to develop the requirements. Now you know login registration, but how many of you can implement that forget password functionality in your project? How many of you can implement email sending with the random password and update password after login? No. Out of this 60, 70 people, maybe 3-4 people can do that. But remaining 50 people don't have the clarity how to do that. That is the difference. Theory concept is clear. MVC topics are clear. And implementing the requirement is different. Theoretical and practical. Both are different. Many students are failing in the interview, are losing the jobs in the companies due to lack of this practical knowledge. A project that you are using daily, or project you are using daily, but whatever the basic functionalities are there, you people are not able to implement those functionalities. So this is what real time. In the Amirpet, they will teach you the concept. But in the real time, you need to develop the requirement. Now you see my forget password function. Go to forget password. This is my mail ID with which I have the account. Okay. I will enter my email ID. I will click on submit. For example, if I give something like abc@gmail.com, what it is saying? Please fill out the mandatory field. abc@gmail.com. What it is saying? Was with mail ID, there is no record in our database. Your mail ID is incorrect. Now, if I give my valid mail ID, click on submit. What happened now? Because with your mail ID, somebody can try to reset the password also. Now you know my mail ID. You know my mail ID. ashok@gmail.com. But can you change my password? Can you change my password? Here. Is it possible? No. What I am doing now? When you request for forget password, go to the system. What happened now? What happened now? For your mail, I am sending a link to reset the password. I am not directly asking user to update the password. Whenever you request for the forget password, immediately my application send an email. Just 10:52. Just now, I got an email. Can you see the message in my email? Can you read this message? Password reset request. Can you read it? Dear Ashok, we received a request to reset your password. If you made this request, please click below link to reset your password. If you did not request a password reset, you can safely ignore this email. No changes have been made to your account. A clear message, because now you know my mail ID. You can try for password reset, but it will not allow. So I will get the message to my mail ID. Now, suppose I want to reset my password. Then what I will do? Click here to reset the password. When I click this, what is happening now? A page is coming to reset the password. Now, enter this new password. The confirm password I am giving different. Both are not matching. Both are not matching. Button is enabled or not enabled? Not enabled. If you enter new password, confirm password same, then only button will enable. Password should be matched. Then only you can update. Then your password will be updated in the database. So this is one real-time requirement. You need to implement this kind of requirements, then you can survive as a developer. So getting the job means theoretical knowledge will not give you the job. So these all are practicals, real-time scenarios. You need to think like this, and you need to implement.
Sir,
For
the
developing this requirement, technical concepts already we learned. For this, Spring Boot we are using presentation timely, for example, and for database, data JPA concept. You know the concepts, but what is the problem? What is the, you know email sending also. You know email sending also. You know WebMVC. You know form development. You know form validations also. But the problem, practice. Learning the course, developing the project, both are different. Now you question yourself, right? From last 45 days, I'm doing the course. Technical concepts are completed, but I am not getting the confidence to develop this requirement. And this is not one day effort. Sir, I have joined your course. I completed Spring Core module, Spring Boot, Data JPA, WebMVC also, but why I am not able to develop this requirement? Why? Because it depends on your thought process, your mindset. Mindset has to change. Thought process has to change. As of now, you are depending on me. Whatever I'm explaining, same thing you are practicing. But you need to come out from there and you need to think and you need to analyze the requirements, take this as a reference, whatever registration is there, whatever login is available, whatever the forgot password is available. 4 functionalities. If you can develop on your own, then definitely you can crack the interview also. Registration with auto-generated password with email ID. Login is available. Once you log in, role-based application, forgot password, email is going and reset the password. So 5 functionalities if you can develop on your own, you are equal to experienced developer. That means your brain is working like a developer brain. If you are not able to develop, that means your brain is working like a student brain. भगवान सबको एक ही brain दिया. You are a human, I am also a human. Why I am thinking like this? Why you are not thinking like that? The difference is experience.
Sir, I'm
Experience.
having one question.
Yes.
So here we are we are resetting the password, and we are only giving the password. We are not giving the email.
Where
So how this application now? Okay, I need to update the password for this email only.
we will
And
store the background. We will maintain that email ID, sir. Whenever you send that request, whenever you go and click on forget password, you will give your email ID, right? This email ID we will remember in the backend.
okay.
We will store that email ID. Based on that, when you click on submit, that when you suppose basically, for example, here when you click on reset password, that email ID we will remember. Based on that email ID, we will update the password for only that account. That is the logic.
So
So
this
you-
reset password is the separate page only, right?
Correct, separate page.
Okay.
you are encrypting the email ID, right, sir? While sending the reset link. And again, when you're clicking on the link, resetting the password, you're decoding it again.
Correct.
Okay, okay, sir.
You got the clarity, guys? So take this first of all. Today requirement you need to complete. Whatever the requirement I have given you for today. What is the requirement for today? What is the requirement for today? You need to develop a core book application. Once core book application completed, do some research on our website, registration, login, forgot password, reset password. Try to implement that as your assignment. Okay. So with this concept, WebMVC topics are clear. Only you need to get the practical knowledge of the project's implementation. Project's implementation you have to do. So I need to teach you. There is a concept called actuator concept is available in the Spring Boot, and in the data JPA, mappings, relationships concept is available. So I will take one combined class for project people also on association mapping. In the JRTP also I need to teach them what is association mapping. Mostly this weekend I will plan for association mapping class. The relationships, how we need to establish relationships when we are developing application to communicate with the database. One employee can have multiple addresses. What is the relation between employee table and address table? Okay, so the relationships topic is there. I need to explain that concept from the data JPA, and there is a concept called profiles concept is available. There are some topics which are left in the JPA, so but if I explain all of them now, you may not get the class. Okay? So with the real-time scenarios, I will explain the pending topics also. Okay, tomorrow we'll learn actuator. Once actuator completed, I will see your assignment, how much you are implementing on this project. Once this assignment completed, I told you, forget password concept we have to implement in our project. Once it is done, from Monday, we are going to start with the real Spring Boot topic, which is REST API and microservices. So if you are going for the interview, nobody will ask English, nobody will ask JS. The industry completely REST APIs development, microservices development. So from Monday, we are going to start with the REST API and microservices concepts. So the REST API and microservices concepts will take another 30 to 40 days of time. So that is very important for the Java developers. Nowadays, every project development is based on REST APIs and microservices. Is it clear? So now don't waste your time. Complete this project. Once this project is completed, how the forgot password is there in the Ashokite website, same thing you need to implement in this project also. You will log in registration, forgot password. When I click forgot password, go to one page, take the mail ID. With that mail ID, record is available. Send an email to reset the password. So when they click on the link, you should go to reset password. There they can update the password in the database. That is another big requirement. You got my point? So in this login page, I will give you two links here. One is register. And another one is forgot password. Let us see how many people will complete this requirement. Okay. And here, view contacts, add contact will be available. When you log out, session will be removed. Right. When I click on forgot password, what should happen? In Ashok IT website, how the forgot password is available in the new website. How it is available? Same thing you need to implement this. Okay. Any questions on the requirement?
Sir, we have to create one more page like password reset page, and
Yes.
that only we have to give as part of the link, right?
Yes,
On the email.
yes, yeah, you can refer this. You go to here, you use forgot password, you see how it is working. Same thing you need to implement.
Okay.
PLSQL, only queries, SQL queries, no PLSQL. It's very rare scenario, very rare. I did not use in this project. Only if you have SQL knowledge with joins concepts, that is sufficient. PLSQL not that much required for the development. Okay, you see how our registration functionality working and how forgot password is working. Same thing. Try to implement as part of your assignment. Okay, you have 1 day time. But tomorrow, I want you at least forgot password you can do later. At least you need to complete these 4 pages. Login, registration, add contact, view contacts functionality you have to implement. So whenever I log in, only contacts which I added should be displayed. When user login, application should display the contacts which are added by logged in user. Not all the contacts. Which contacts I added? When I log in, my contacts will display. When you log in, Which context you added, that should be displayed. You got my point? Read this requirement. Develop phone book application with below functionalities. When user log registration, login, add contact, view contacts, and log. When user login, application should display the contacts which are added by logged in user only, not all the contacts. This is the assignment for you people for today, guys. You need to complete this before coming to tomorrow's session. If you are really interested completing the assignments on time, I give you several real-time requirements for your practice. If you are not doing assignment, then I will also lose my interest. I will not tell you. If you are doing this, then definitely I will give you more real-time scenario. Then you can get some practical knowledge. You can improve your skills. Good. Yeah, I will update the notes in the website. Okay, now only I will update it. I will log in. Yeah, already WebMVC notes available, right? Let me click on edit. Whatever the file is there, I'm going to update the same file. Now you can see the notes is updated. I will check it. It is updated up. Yeah. Now you can see the notes is updated in the website. So this is the assignment that I have given. I want you to complete this before coming to tomorrow. So you can see the screens also. Login, registration, add contact, and view. There's nothing, just it's like a phone book. You can take it. Login, just one person take it, post in the group. You can just post in the group. This is the assignment for today. So take it seriously and try to complete it. Thank you guys. We'll meet tomorrow.